That sounds
Let's
fun.
get this party started. Let's get this party started.
Yay!
Hey! So I am Sophie, and today I wanted to talk about reasons not to create. I am an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator. And I am French, by the way, so you can get that question out of your mind. That weird accent and weird humor is French. Ooh, crazy. And I like creating. Creating is kind of my addiction. Like, I'll do anything, I'll just go create. And if I want something, if I choose to have something in my life, I'm like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? And it doesn't matter like what it's going to take. I'm just going to go for it, right? Which has driven some of my family bananas because, you know, I never stop. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about all the reasons we give ourselves to not create, and what do we do with that. So usually there's three things that come up when people start looking at creation and what they want to have in their life and what they want to create. The first reason is money. Money comes up a lot of times. So this call is not about money. We'll do a separate call around money. It's not about that. If that's your reason, bye-bye. No. Ask yourself, is it really really the reason, or are you using this to stop yourself? And then the other two reasons that we're going to talk about today are time and knowing how. So either I don't have the time, or it takes too much time, or I don't have enough time, or this is not the right time, or I have to do something else, not right now. Or knowing how, I don't know how to do this. I don't know anybody. I'm by myself. I've never done this before. I suck at this, all of that. So those are the other reasons that we give ourselves to not create what we want to create. So when I first came to Access Consciousness, I've never ever done anything with the energy. Okay, I just really, this woman was talking on a talent summit about access. I like what she said. I felt good about it. So I just went to a class, and I had no idea that I was going to touch people. I had no idea where the bars were, nothing. I just went to a class, right? So when they told me I was going to do an energy practice called the bars, I was like, this is crazy. I don't do that. Like, I just don't do that. I don't know energy. I don't know anything about energy. Okay. Yeah, me too. Don't worry. So I don't know energy, and I really did not think I was going to be able to do it. But Gary always says, just put your hands on. Gary is the founder of Access Consciousness, and he's the one who created the bars. And he says, put your hands on and just do it. Because it doesn't matter whether you know about it or how you do it or how you feel it. It happens. Energy goes anywhere. It doesn't care whether you know or not know. It happens. And I have to say, it really worked. Like at the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just putting my hands. I'm like, I'm doing it. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Yeah, I had no idea. But it worked. People felt awesome. And it just was phenomenal, right? So knowing how is also an excuse. Because let me ask you this. Who here is not an infinite being? And the people on the phone, let me know. Are you not an infinite being? Who here is not an infinite being? I'd like to know. No one? Awesome. So if you are an infinite being, is it possible that there's something you don't know how to do? No. An infinite being knows everything, right? Now, do you know how people expect you to do things? That's a whole other thing. But you know how to do everything. So if you know how to do everything...
Question.
Oh, go ahead, Shelley.
Can I ask you a question? So I hear what you're saying, and that resonates, that feels light. So is it just a matter of accessing the information or receiving the information you require to do something?
Yes and no. Thank you for asking that question.
Okay.
So yes, it is about accessing the information, but it's not going to be the kind of information that we've been taught that it's going to be. So for instance, it's not going to be necessarily a procedure, or it's not going to be a logical thing. It's not going to be details. Like, we've been told to go to school and reading those books and learn the proper way of doing things and learn the facts, right? The facts. Well, what if the facts were always different every time? I mean, so there's somebody above you. Jamie is different than Shelley, and there's two other people who joined us today. They're different than us. Like every single person on the Zoom today is different, right? So if I speak to each person individually, I'm going to, even if I want to say the same thing to each of you, I'm going to say it differently, because I'm going to perceive what is required for each of you in order to understand what I'm saying. I will not deliver the information the same way. And maybe it's the same information in the meaning there's an idea, concept that I'm going to deliver to each of you, but I'm not going to deliver it the same way. And I may actually give you different facts for you to get that concept. So yes, you're going to reach the information. So all of the information that you ever require is out there somewhere in the universe. So yes, you're going to go and reach for it. But no, you do not need to know it, meaning that you don't need to know what it's called. You don't need to know how it works. You're just going to be like, oh, have you tried this? Oh, have you tried that? Oh, what about this? What about that? Hey, did you know this? And suddenly you're like, wait a second, how did I know this? Where did that come from? Listen, I love books, right? I love books. I love studying. I love learning new stuff. And if I'm in complete space and if I'm trusting myself and being willing to be aware fully, I will know at any point in time what to say in any kind of conversation, whether it's technical or not. And it was very interesting. Last time I was in Las Vegas, actually, this happened. So I was at a bar having dinner, and I like to sit at the bar. And this guy was like 2 stools down, but he asked me if he could sit next to me, and I was like, sure, whatever. So he sat next to me, and he started talking to me about his business. Now, this is a consultant that gets hired by really big companies to revamp a whole business. So when businesses merge together, and you have to take 2 businesses and make one, he goes in and we merge it, like, to make it a big thing, right? A unique big thing. So this is somebody who's been doing this for 20 years. He's like well-known, and he probably makes a whole lot of money. So he started having a conversation with me, and I have a little bit of business experience, certainly not to his level, but I have a little bit of business experience. So I was able to start the conversation with him. And we ended up discussing a process called 6 Sigma. And 6 Sigma is a process that I was not trained in, but I worked for somebody who was trained in 6 Sigma. So I just kind of said, okay, what would that person say? And I was having a full-blown conversation, and I actually helped him with one of the problems he was having in that business. So it didn't matter whether I was a 6 Sigma expert or not. I was able to help the guy simply because I asked, what do I know about this, right? So even if it's that specific. Oh, by the way, Shelley, have you ever taken care of your kid who was sick better than any doctor could take care of? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And did you go to med school?
No.
No, exactly. Right? That's exactly. Oh, somebody has a thermometer. Are you sick, honey? Oh my gosh. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is there are some areas of our life we trust ourselves because, we're moms. So know that if the kid is sick, we know what we need to do. And no, we're not necessarily going to go to the doctor because we know what to do about this. And we trust ourselves. And we didn't go to med school, but we know.
And we know when it's time to go to the doctor.
And we do that too, yes. Or we know when their bodies has decided it's time to go to the doctor.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. No matter what the situation, Now, why do I bring this up? So when we look at time and when we look at know-how, we have decided, so like there's this concept of time that at some point in the universe, there's been decided that there's a past, present, and future, and people have to live according to the past, the present, or the future. Now, did you know that with the clearing statement of access consciousness, you actually become a time traveler? Did you know that? Because when you use the clearing statement, you have to go back in time to undo something that you did at a certain point in time in order to clear what it is you want to clear from now into the future. So you have to travel back in time and undo the past, basically, change the past. So this shows you that time is a complete illusion. But I bet sometime in the last 48 hours, you all have said, oh my gosh, I don't have time, or I wonder if I'm going to have the time. Has somebody here not say that in the last 48 hours? Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And so if you give this concept of time so much importance, you are disempowering yourself, right? You're not acknowledging the power that you truly be.
I have a question about time.
Yes.
So I totally get what you're saying about the time travel. You know, sometimes we're using the clearing statement to go in the past. Sometimes we're pulling the future towards us, and all that kind of stuff. But like for this Zoom webinar, we met at a specific time. Like what is that? Is that just something we choose to use, or?
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
I can't.
So this is interesting. You know, I have this group called Being We, and you were part of it for a while, so you know what that means, right? So at Being We, it's a group of people, and about twice a month we get together for a Zoominar where I facilitate what I call a Zoominar. So it's something like this, where I pick a topic and you all come in and ask questions, and I facilitate, right? So what happens when I do those Zoominar is no matter what method I use to tell people about the time and the date for the Zoominars, like 75% of the people do not see when it is, do not know when it is, right? However, what's so interesting is from the moment that I start the Zoominar, so I tap into all the Being We members, tap into all of them, and suddenly within minutes of the Zoominar starting, they're going to show up. Like they start becoming aware. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
It just froze for a second. Yeah.
So they start becoming aware that there's a Zoom and they should be on, because I connect with them. So the date and time is something where suddenly the energy of what we want to talk about becomes so big that now people can participate. So for me, a meeting time is a space or a point in the universe where that energy is going to exist no matter what.
Okay.
But this is very interesting you asked that question, because this is what happens when we create classes, right? So when we create a class and we we say, for instance, I'm going to have a class that day. If we're not completely sure that we're going to have a class that day, meaning no matter what, we're going to be in that energy, we're going to be having that conversation that day, then there's not going to be enough energy in the universe for people to show up.
That's interesting. I created a retreat, and the awareness that I got was to create it really, really far in advance so people could choose to pay for it. But everybody that I talk to, they're like, it's too far away. It's too far away. So I think what you're helping me with is I have to choose to be there at that time, at that place. I'm going to have it and set the energy, you know, regardless of what anybody says.
Exactly.
And just let the people show up. Yeah, cool.
You know, there's the Global Foundation going on in Paris starting tonight, right? And I've been having such a hard time with the fact that it's during my night, because last time I tried to do a class live stream from LA to Europe, I basically fell asleep halfway through it, right? if it was at night. So I was struggling whether I was going to do it during the night, like live, or later when, when I'm actually awake and I can watch it later. But I like being live with Gary and Dane. So I was kind of struggling with that. Because I struggled with that, I could tell the class, the pod didn't really exist. So nobody registered for the pod. And every time I mentioned it to somebody, everybody was like, well, I don't really want to do it because of the time. And I realized, wow, I am way too loud of a thinker. And all my thoughts, they just keep getting picked up with everybody and by everybody. And so it was just like, okay, so, but in the end, it works for me because I have so much to do anyway. So I kind of prefer to have it not where nobody registered. But yeah, it's it exactly. So once we choose a time to meet or have something happen, it happens.
Thank you.
So, would you like to change your relationship with time?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. So, because time is an illusion, so it's a construct. The only way we can really change our relationship with time is energetically. If we try to manage time, has it ever worked for you to manage time? It doesn't, right?
No.
At some point, something is going to not get done or something is going to have to be done later because we can't really manage time. However, we can change the energy around it. So we can right now, we can uncreate and destroy all the points of views we have that there's not enough time. Would you like to do that? Yeah. So everywhere that you have decided there's not enough time, or you have too little time, or you don't have the time, would you please uncreate and destroy it all times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, on as special symbians. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Now, that's one thing. The other thing is, in order to change time, you have to include the body, because the problem with time is that the body is how you experience life, and it has a really, really strange relationship with time, and that's called aging. So we have tied our body into time and space with aging. Now, if you really want to change your relationship to time, you have to change your relationship to aging. And with the bars, you have already the aging toaster. So that's a really great way to start. If you have never had your bars run, please go get them run or take a bars class. And you'll learn about the aging toaster to change how you function in regards to aging. But the other thing is the facelift. So the Access Consciousness Energetic Facelift is what the title says. So it's an energetic facelift where we energetically, we kind of lift the whole body, but we also change the energy it is in regards to all these concepts and points of views about money. There's 30 different energies in the Access Energetic Facelift. So if you really truly want to change your relationship to time, you've got to get the Access Consciousness Energetic Facelift or go to class. It's that simple. Because you've got to give your body a different possibility with time. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I'm glad you said that it went through the whole body, because I had that done for the first time maybe about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And I initially thought that, I don't know what I was thinking. They were going to touch my face and run clear. That's not what happened.
No.
But what was so interesting is I did feel it from my toes all the way up to my head, which really surprised me.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And I have to say that it's probably besides the bars, it's one of the best remedy to depression, because it creates so much lightness in the body, because it lifts up the whole body. You really truly pull the whole body up. So after you get a facelift, you're like, ooh, I'm so light. And you cannot be depressed after you've gotten a facelift.
I agree. And
That's
it was
it.
different than bars. With bars, my experience is I feel kind of spacey, but with the facelift, I just felt good. Like the end, I just felt good. It was just a happy, like you just want to smile.
Exactly, exactly. So the facelift is a really cool process and a class that you can take with Access Consciousness. And I'll put up the dates for some of the classes below the video. But yeah, it's so amazing to actually see that your body knows something different about time than what you experience every day. Okay. All right. So if you could change anything with time right now, what would it be? Anyone? Nothing? You wouldn't
What's
change it?
popping in my head is I exercise for 2 days more than I normally do. So today my body was really sore and my mind was like, you have things to do, you have things to do, you have things to do. And my body was like, I want to rest, I want to rest. So what I was kind of struggling with is, am I using my body as an excuse or is my body giving me awareness? And I wanted more time to do the things I had to do, and I wanted to rest all at the same time. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How long do you need to rest?
That's what I was struggling. I was like, I don't know. What I did, I was watching a series on Netflix. So every time it ended, I would just ask my body again, do you want to get up? Do you want to play? Do you want to rest? And
Okay, so there is this really weird concept about that. Sleep is a very, very strange concept. It's actually also an illusion. We've been told that we need to sleep, what, 6-8 hours every night, something like that.
yeah, I slept 2 hours last night.
Actually, that's all you need, because basically you need 15 minutes every 2 hours that you're awake. You need to rest for 15 minutes. So what I would suggest is you allow yourself to have 15 minutes of full total rest. That means absolutely no electronics whatsoever around you, like bye-bye electronics. You need a manual clock. No electronics, just complete rest. And if your mind is going, you need to like implant ban. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. No matter what, for 15 minutes, you rest. Then you get up, and then you do something that if you did not do it, you would feel like you have not done what you were supposed to do today. You go do that. So you pick one thing on your list that if you did that, you felt, okay, I've done this. Like you feel like you've accomplished something, or you feel like you've taken care of your list, then you go and do that. But you don't go do the things that are logical, or the things that, like because the kids are coming home from school, I have to make them dinner. Yeah, but if, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so give them $5, they'll go to McDonald's. I mean, they'll be happy, right? Like, it's not, there's nothing that you have to do, but everything that you can choose. And that's the other problem with time, is that we feel obligated. We feel obligated to do what we're supposed to do at a certain time. What if there was no obligation? What if everything was a choice? I bet you would have so much more energy. By the way, the other thing about soreness is that it wakes up places in your body that were asleep, right? So now you're aware of places and muscles that you were not aware of. And it's distracting.
Absolutely.
It's very distracting. It's like, oh my gosh, because I cracked my ribs about a month ago, right before I went on a plane trip. And oh my gosh, there were things under my ribs I was not aware of until I cracked my ribs. Like, oh, I didn't know that could happen, right? So, excuse me. So I had to really like, okay, I'm gonna take care of that, but I'm not gonna stop quitting. Okay, so this is the other thing I want to say. Let go of your to-do list once in a while and ask yourself, who do I need to be for this creation to come to fruition with total ease.
Mm.
Not what do I need to do, but who do I need to be? So is it possible that your body was showing you a different way to create?
Yes.
If you watch,
and my body is actually happy. That's the other piece of it.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
it is happy. It's not sad.
And I don't know what you were watching on Netflix, but a lot of those shows, when we are coached like us, a lot of those shows will tell us, oh my gosh, people really need me to teach them this, right? Because they're doing a whole show about how people kill each other. I really need to teach a class on kindness. So I don't know, I'm making this up, but there's always something. That's why I watch TV, because I'm always fascinated by, because I don't have these problems. I don't deal with this stuff every day. So I have to go watch TV to remind myself what drama people are dealing with, right?
I know what you mean.
So use it to your advantage. And maybe while you're watching it, maybe write down a few ideas, or, a couple of things like that. And, more power to the multitaskers. It was funny because, when we just launched the Access Consciousness website, and the first few days it was total panic. Like people were like, I can't access this, I can't access that. So I was like emailing, texting, messaging on Facebook, and Skyping like within the same 5 minutes to get things done on the new website, right? It was just a big, intense moment. And the amount of stuff that I had to do at the same time was more than I ever thought I would do. But what is it that you could be doing that if the concept of time did not exist, it would be so easy and so fun? I'm telling you, the facelift changes your relationship to time. It does. It's awesome.
That's great. That's exciting. Okay.
And then the other thing is that for the know-how, so you know how I was talking about, hold on, I just need to answer this. You know how I was talking about that you can tap into the universe and get all the information you need for any point in time, any conversation. Now, in order to be able to do that, there's something that you need to stop doing right now that I'm pretty sure you're doing. And that's judgment, right? So if you judge yourself for not knowing, or for knowing something different or something incorrect, if you judge something, then you will not be able to receive the information. So if you judge yourself, you would not be able to receive the information. You have to let go of judgment. And not to sound, well, no, anyway, I don't care how I sound. And the best class I've ever taken in Access Consciousness to get rid of judgment is called Right Voice for You. Because, oh boy, do people have judgments of themselves in how they express themselves in the world, right? So in Right Voice for You.
Can you talk more about, I was going to say, can you give us more information about Right Voice for You? I think people think that it's just for, I'm going to be on stage, or I'm going to be a public speaker, but that's not true.
No. Oh, no. So, like, I think I described yesterday. So when I talk to people, I'm always, my point of view was that I suck at words, as you just noticed. Like, words and I were not super good friends. Like, it's really challenging for me to find the right words to express what I want to say. Okay? So how can I be me? And how can I facilitate people and communicate with people with my limitation that I have with words, right? But I also know that I am me, and I am smart, I'm funny, I'm silly, I'm sweet. Like I can be all of that. So regardless of what words I'm going to use, if I'm me, that is going to carry over, right? So when I was doing a office hours for the new website with Italian people who are so frustrated because they can't understand, it's not working, where the limitation of the words was like in our face, right? So I used the tools of Right Voice for You. I lowered my barriers. That means that you get rid of everything that you think is separating from other people. I lowered my barriers, and I ask for me to be me no matter what. So when you hear the words office hours, you don't think somebody's going to do woo, 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 like that. Office hours sounds so official, right? And I think somehow they had decided that this was super official. But I'm not me, because since words don't work for me, I had to be me. So I was like, yeah. And I was making faces and I was having fun and dancing and being totally silly, even with the translator. And at the end, they were all laughing their ass off, right? And actually now the website is a lot easier for them. So in Right Voice for You, what I do is I pretty much change the energy in your body so that you can lower your barriers, you can be present with people, and you can express yourself fully. That's what we do with Right Voice for You. It does not matter that whether you speak to one person or to a large group of people, or whether you write, or whether you play guitar or write a book or paint or bake a cake. You still need, this is still an expression of yourself. So if you are judging yourself, if you are using other people's points of views about how right or wrong something is, you're not going to be able to express yourself. So in Right Voice for You, we uncreate and destroy all of that. And we actually allow you to be you no matter what. Isn't that cool? I like it.
Cool.
And I did my last Right Voice for You class was in the south of France a couple of weeks ago. And there was this, this woman who comes up and she doesn't want to say anything. She doesn't want to, usually I have people either say something or sing, but she didn't want to do anything because she was shy. She just didn't want to do anything. So I said, well, what's fun for you? So she said, I like to listen to music and dance. I'm like, okay, let's put music on. And what you're going to do is you're going to direct people. So you're going to ask people to dance with you. You're going to direct them, kind of choreograph them, right? So that's what we did. We put the music on and she guided people toward this beautiful, amazing dance that if she had not stepped up and do that, we would not have had experienced. Now, it didn't require for her to speak or sing, but she was all of her. That's what I wanted for her to get, that she can be her without changing who she is, without changing how she expresses it. Does that make sense? Yeah, I hope it does.
Yes. And now, the question is how, how we have different types of people that show up in our lives. And I'm thinking more of clients or new clients or potential clients. So is it just about remaining you all the time, or is it also about knowing what to say to people and what people can hear?
Okay, that's a good question. So there's a couple of things. There's what they want to hear, what they should hear, and what's going to invite them to hear something different. So you're going to be aware of what they're okay hearing, right? You're going to be really aware of what's okay. The fact that they're not really nice or whatever. Like there's some things that they're going to be able to hear. And then there's things that you would like them to hear, but if you said to them, they will shut you out. So you have to ask, what can I say that would create the most? Meaning not necessarily only what they're ready to hear, but what they're ready to hear with a spin, with a little invitation, with an opening towards something greater. And if you ask, okay, so I know this person, I know where they want to go. What can I say that would invite them towards something greater? And then you will know that. And that's what you'll say. And by the way, it won't be a sentence. It won't be words in the head. You'll just open your mouth, and that'll be the perfect thing to say.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we have naked men on this Zoom.
My son. I told them what I was doing, but they want to join us anyway, so that's cool.
Okay, all right. I don't know what's going on here. I keep hearing beeps. Okay, so I don't think there's somebody else on the call with us. If you have a question, go ahead, ask it. If you don't have a question, I would like to invite you all, next time you would like to create something, and this could be your day, it could be a meeting, it could be a book, a business, whatever it is you want to create. I would like you to ask, if I didn't have any money problem, if time was not an issue, and if I knew how to create anything I wanted to create, what would I create? And if you need help with time or knowing how, please come to Las Vegas, May 6th or 7th, and we will take care of you. I promise. May 6th is right voice, May 7th is facelift. Or send me a message and I'll give you more information on that. The money thing, there's a really great book in Access Consciousness called How to Become Money Workbook. And if you have never done this, please consider purchasing it and going through the money workbook. Do that one 5 times, and then after you do that one 5 times, you can do the advanced money workbook. But those would actually,
I have the advanced.
but those would, and it's thick, man. It's wow. I was not expecting that to be so wow. Okay.
I got to page 11 and I had to regroup.
Me too. I'm like the first chapter. I'm like, what? Okay.
Exactly.
Nell.
Oh.
Hi, Nell. So, if you have questions, Shelly, do you have any more questions for me?
So right voice to you. I don't really have questions for the energetic facelift because I experienced it. But right voice for you, is it also something that can help you? Because I know I have a lot of clients and I see a lot of women that can't like speak up for themselves, you know what I mean? Or
yeah,
is that gonna be a contribution?
Yeah, so
maybe like is it kind of like finding your voice as well? That's a phrase that I've heard.
Yeah, it is definitely like finding your voice, in the sense that people have made finding your voice way too complicated. Finding your voice.
I was always told I couldn't sing. Now, I don't know if that's true. Oh. And now that I said that, you'll probably make me sing when I come to class.
No, probably not. So the finding your voice, especially in business, has been made so important. So like, oh my God, you have to find who you are. You have to be authentic in the way you communicate and all of that. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, really? It's just so thick and so in your face. The key about finding your voice is, as long as you're being you in the moment, in those 10 seconds, like whether it's quiet, whether it's loud, whether it's scary, whether it's having fun, I don't care. As long as you're honoring you and you're respecting who and what you want to be in this moment, You will find your voice. The only problem is when you're judging you, because if you're judging you, you cannot be your voice in the world. So a big part of what I do with Right Voice for You is I allow you to have no more judgment of you. I give you the space, I give it to you, and I also show you how to find the space where you don't get to judge yourself anymore. And I'm facilitator of Right Voice for You for 3 years now. And I've done quite a few classes, but the last one I did, I got it at a level that I never gotten before, because this woman who did not even want to come to class, but she came because all her friends came to class, so she came to class. And she was like not wanting to stand up, not wanting to speak, not wanting to do anything. So I was very gentle with her, and I just, had her say something like, hi, like her name and where she lived, like something really simple. She was dancing and singing in the streets after the class, okay? And I was like, what just happened? What just happened? Because, and she said to me, she said it was the most phenomenal thing that she had ever done, because she got to have the space of her. She got to know who she was being in that moment, because I was not judging her. I was not judging her. I didn't want to judge her. And I just could give her no excuse, no reason to not hide. Just be her, right? So that was so awesome. And please know that if you don't want to sing, you don't have to sing. If you don't want to get up, you don't have to get up. But if you want to stop and get rid of any judgment that you have of you, like for instance, I'm not wearing makeup today. I can tell I'm not wearing makeup, but I'm still doing this Zoominar that's going to be on YouTube and live on YouTube for quite a while. Sophie without makeup. I could judge myself, right? But I'm like, I bet somebody else likes to do Zoominar without makeup too. So they may like it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is so much more than how you express yourself, but it's really letting go of those things that prevent you from being you. That's really what the class is about. Yeah?
So and then I'm just thinking of the combination. So you go to energetic facelift, you let go of the time, and then you go to Right Voice for You, let go of the judgments. I wonder what that's going to create.
Oh my Lord. Yes, exactly. And I love the idea. I've never done the two so close together. So I think that's going to be really fun to do that. Really fun. For sure.
Cool. Yay.
All right. Well, I'm done talking. So I hope that everybody's having a good time. And if you have questions, you can email me or send me a message. I will post this on YouTube. So you can ask me questions below YouTube and also on Facebook.
And please send me the link so I can share it.
I will.
In the
I will.
Las Vegas group. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And have a great day.
Okay. Bye, Sophie. See you soon.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.